Hey, today we're making salmon nuggets. If you're like me and you're not a big fan of chicken nuggets, these are great. You're gonna love them. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get started. So here we have the salmon cut into nuggets, the size of a nugget. This one's fairly small. They're kind of different sizes. So I just basically cut mine into squares. So you take, I washed it in lime juice and water. That's why you see that yellowish color over there. But I'm gonna take this piece and cut it up, and then we'll get started. So I just rinsed my knife off. Again, that white stuff that you saw on the knife was from the actual salmon. It's just juicy, I guess. So now we get to the ingredients. So to bind, I'm gonna use deli style mustard. You can use regular yellow mustard or Dijon mustard. We have onion powder, paprika, flour, garlic, thyme leaves, cornmeal, cayenne pepper, because I like for my salmon to have a kick, black pepper, and adobo. And you could use a freezer bag as well to shake them up once we make the concoction, but I ran out, so I'm using a container. A container is fine. So I decided to stop playing myself and got a bigger container, and I'm gonna start pouring the ingredients. So far what I'm doing is making a dry mixture. So I did 1.5 cups of flour and 1.5 cups of oatmeal. I haven't mixed it yet. Oatmeal, cornmeal. It's cornmeal. Don't put oatmeal in here. Now I'm just going to let my ancestors guide me into seasoning my flour. If you actually need measurements, I'll measure and I'll tell you what the measurements are. So far, 1.5 cups of flour, 1.5 cups of cornmeal. I have a lot of salmon. That's so all of my dry ingredients are now in here. With the exception, the only thing I did not put in here was the mustard. And for my dry ingredients, so for the adobo, I used 1 teaspoon of adobo. All my other dry ingredients, besides the cornmeal and the flour, I use 2 tablespoons. So for those of you that need measurements, those are your measurements. This is what it should look like once you mix it. And now we're going to prep our salmon so we can dip it in this deliciousness. Hey, in a pan of your choice, get you some vegetable oil and pour enough that when you put your salmon nuggets in, you don't have to flip them. So this is enough for me. It's a little deep, can't really tell on camera, but so now we're back to the salmon. I did accidentally squirt some when I was going like this. Now I'm going to just squirt my deli mustard in here, and it's not to give it any flavor, it's just so that the coating can bind. So just a little bit more. If I had to measure this, I'm gonna go with maybe 2.5 tablespoons. I don't really measure my food, so I'm sorry. It would take me all day to measure, and I just kind of go with the flow. But not too much. You don't want to give it any flavor, and it's really not going to give it any flavor. It's just to bind it up. So now what I'm going to do is just mix this in. And it's hard with one hand, so I'll be back. So my oil is hot and my nuggets are coated. So just to show you what I do, I'm gonna dip it in here. Make sure it's nicely coated. This is what your nugget should look like. I need something to put them. Okay, so let's try it again. So now that this is coated, and you don't have to do them one by one, I'm about to dump them in here. You can transfer it to something of your choice. This is a paper plate. It absolutely is. So I'm just going to do a few of them at a time. I'm just going to grab a bunch, throw it in here, shake things up a little bit, and get them ready for frying. So my oil is on medium high. What you see there was my test. I tested the oil to see if it was hot with some flour and some cornmeal. So now I'm going to start putting my nuggets in for about 3 minutes, no longer than that. You don't want them to be really dry. That's all salmon really needs. 3 to 5 minutes, but I'm gonna do 3 minutes. And once your nuggets have some brown to them, like I said, it's been 3 minutes, you can take them out. And this is our end result. Enjoy.